All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Invincible, Season 1, Episode 8.
All right, this
Holy shit.
This finale will be full of fuck.
it will be full of fuck, it will be full of memes, and oh my god.
We have a father-son showdown in the making right here.
Yup.
Immortal has been super deadified a second time.
Double tapped in all of the ways.
Mm-hmm.
Mark saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, you know, omni-man could still try and spin this some way.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people are going to be showing up at this location to contradict, I get the feeling.
Well, it depends on what Cecil does. Really.
Cecil might be like, no, Mark, you actually have it wrong. He's actually... Damn it, Cecil!
He keeps sending drones with, like, loudspeakers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mark, he is actually the one that killed the Guardians at the...
Right. Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Is Mark the last hope for humanity?
Hey.
Or will Omni-Man have enough humanity to,
right.
well, not kill his son and not, you know...
And what is he going to say with the whole, we need to talk? All right. Yeah. Sure. What are you going to say?
Let's talk.
And, like, are the helicopters going to also be privy to this conversation, or is he going to take them out real quick so that way they can talk privately? Like,
they're just going to relocate every, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Fly really fast.
Just fly around the earth while they have that conversation. I'm just glad that the teen team is not there, because, yeah, they would, like, be super dead.
Super
dead. Mega
even
dead.
Though they're now the Guardians, and they're probably going to get, you know, like, put in reserve and be like, okay, I need you to move to that location, but stay, 100 miles away.
Sure.
So you get at least 10 seconds to, you know, prepare yourself.
Yeah.
But, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
This isn't how I wanted to do this, but I don't have a choice. It's time for you to know where I really come from.
Shit.
I am from Viltrum, but
Okay.
it's not the planet I've told you about.
Yeah.
In order for our people to reach their full potential, we had to remove the weak from our society. By the time I was born, Viltrum was already the greatest empire in our galaxy.
Wow.
We decided to make it the only empire in our galaxy. Once I was old enough, I joined the war effort. It was hard, but I believe in our cause. Our most trusted officers were each given a planet to weaken by themselves. I was one of those lucky few.
Damn.
Oh my god.
You lied to me.
You couldn't know the truth. Not until you had your powers. Not until I was sure.
Sure of what?
Sure you were a Viltrumite.
So if I wasn't, I'd just be one more human to conquer.
Everyone
Oh my
you know
God.
and love will be gone before you even look 30. It's not something I want for you. This isn't your world. It's theirs. But we can help them. We can stop war.
That explains the whole time thing when he went through the portal.
Yeah.
I do love your mother, but she's more like a pet to me.
Shit.
This is the only
Oh
way.
my
Mark.
god.
Touch me.
Calm down.
I will not calm down. This is insane. And I don't care if I live a fucking million years. This is my home, and I won't let you destroy it.
You don't know what you're saying. And I can't let you interfere.
Oh,
shit.
my god. Here we go. Here we go.
Do you really think you can stop me?
Oh my god.
Jeez.
There it is.
It's right to pity them, Mark, but wrong to value them over your own kind.
Direct hit. Repeat, direct hit on Omni-Man.
Yeah, does jack shit.
Yep.
It's faster for him to just let the missiles hit him.
Cool. So a life is potentially going to be saved. in the midst of this. Oh, shit. Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Kill him immediately.
Didn't think I was gonna make it.
You almost killed him!
Instead, you saved him. So much effort. For what?
Oh!
Where was that other one? Did seeing that man lose his life disturb you? Did it hurt? Well, let's see how you handle this.
Jesus. God, this is insane.
Yeah.
Pieces of a plane. Shit. Hey. They can get the Guardians over here to...
Yeah, to like help with the damage control, maybe.
Yeah.
He's gonna send the whole building at him, isn't he?
No, I think it's just natural consequences of it. Just...
Yeah. Oh, that was cool.
I've got you. I've got you. Don't move. Don't be
The whole building's gonna come apart. And they're dead. Wait. No way. Yeah. Oh, God. Of course.
about how pathetic and pointless humanity is? Is Mom's life worthless?
In the grand scheme of things, yes.
Debbie.
How can you say those things? How could you say that about Mom? Liar!
Go! Beat the shit out of him.
Maybe this time you'll learn.
Oh God! Oh God!
Shit.
Oh God!
No.
Oh, this is gonna be so graphic. Oh my God! Yep.
Holy shit.
These people are meaningless. They're cavemen without us.
You're wrong. I've seen you save people. I've seen you almost die to protect them. Maybe you were a Viltrumite when you came to Earth, but you've changed.
Yeah. Superpowers and training.
Yeah.
I will burn this planet down before I spend another minute living among these animals. Please.
Jeez, his face! Did you see that frame of his face?
That bit of like feralness there just for a second.
Just for good measure.
Yep, and then we see the blood go down behind them.
God. It's crazy how this fight is essentially framed as one conversation. The fight is so meaningless and irrelevant in terms of the actual, like...
Shit.
I'll stop you.
I'm ready when you are.
Jesus.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, here we go.
Yep.
What if they resist?
That's why we're here. To keep them from resisting. To
Yeah.
show them how wrong they are. How pointless it is. That they can be a part of something bigger. Or die.
I won't let you.
Make another kid.
Jesus. Oh, fuck.
This is a waste of everyone's time. There's so much more I could be doing right now.
Oh,
You're gonna miss it.
Oh shit. Oh shit. This is the only little bit of humanity he has.
Yeah.
Right here, remembering this.
When he feels joy, we feel joy. See that look on his face? How can you see that and not feel the same way?
Strike two.
As we get older, it's harder to feel that. Nice one, honey. But our children remind us of the joys in life. It brings us back, shows us what life is all about.
Yeah! Keep going, Mark! Come on, buddy, you can do it!
Mark, go, Mark!
Safe!
Yeah. Wow.
Why did you make me do this? You're fighting so you can watch everyone around you die! Think, Mark! You'll outlast every fragile, insignificant being on this planet. You'll live to see this world crumble to dust and blow away! What will you have after 500 years?
You, Dad. I still have you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Dad?
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn. Oh, he's just gone.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Whoa, this is huge. Okay.
I can't begin to explain the devastation, the pain, the loss. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
Damn. You know what's crazy?
What?
The world is going to unite so fucking fast.
Oh, yeah.
Don't try to talk. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're safe now. It's all over. Here, drink. I'm so proud of you.
Oh. That's...
Debbie? Sorry.
It's okay.
Look, if this is too much, just say so. If it were me, it would ease my mind to know that things are taken care of, so...
Just get on with it, Cecil.
Since we want to preserve Omni-Man's secret identity to keep you and Mark safe,
Yeah.
Nolan Grayson officially died when the house across the street exploded from a gas leak.
Yeah.
Like, what I meant was...
No. I'm sorry. This is all very kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be normal. It's...
Nolan was doing everything under my nose and I never saw it. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't make things as right as they can be.
Yeah.
We haven't earned it yet.
Seriously? Fuck off.
I said stop! Now we look like a team.
Months ago, it's like, damn it, another week. Damn.
All right.
What an end for a season.
Right?
Oh, hey, William.
Oh, hey, Eve.
Have you heard from Mark?
Not since that stuff between him and his dad on the news. I'm really worried.
Wait a minute, you know he's invincible?
Oh, man. You know, too? Oh, thank God. I thought I blew it. You think he's okay?
I don't know.
Yeah, God, that had to be so hard for William because he doesn't have anyone else to talk to about this.
Talk to about it. Poor guy. He just wants to see his buddy again.
I thought it might have been a dream.
I wish it were.
Yeah.
We've been drifting in and out for almost 2 weeks. But my guys got you patched up good.
I saw my dad fly away. Where'd he go?
Get your rest, kid.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Hey, wait. Wait. Aren't you gonna tell me what happened?
That depends.
On what?
On if you still want to be a hero or not.
That's fair.
I wanted to tell you that your mother heard everything your dad said, so you don't have to go through the trouble of explaining this whole ordeal.
What? She heard everything? How could you do that?
Don't you think she deserves to know the truth?
Wait a minute, where are we?
No, sorry. Lights.
Whatever they can.
What the hell just happened? Where'd all that go?
The water America drinks so conveniently from their taps is laced with a chemical that inhibits the ability to see certain frequencies of light. Those frequencies are used in this room. To answer your question, we monitored your father until he left our solar system. He didn't change trajectory, so he's going somewhere pretty damn far away. Which means we need a replacement.
I'm sorry. It's too much.
I shouldn't have brought this up so soon. Let's get you and your mother home first.
I want to do what you do. I want to be just like you.
You will be, son. You will.
God, this is so good. Jeez. Just the dread. You will be, son.
Want to get a pizza?
Yeah.
Looks like I wasn't the only person being lied to.
You know, omni-man is my...
You said your dad was killed when a gas line blew up across the street. Not that hard to figure it out from there. Detective Amber, ready to help out on any tough cases that come up.
We're not open. How did you get it? Debbie.
I spent so much time thinking about if Nolan had killed the Guardians and why he would have done it. I didn't think about what would happen afterwards.
Yeah.
Where it would leave me and Mark. After everything Nolan said and did, I still can't believe it. I can't believe our time together was a lie.
Hello?
I need you.
Jeez.
Now, hurry.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
You said you don't want to do this. Someone's flying towards Earth from deep space. We're still trying to figure out who it is, but...
It's the guy, yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah. It's gonna be him. It has to be.
Invincible.
Yes, it is! Yes! Yes!
Oh, thank heaven.
Yes!
I thought I was too late.
Yes!
When I returned to the Coalition of Planets to tell them I'd been going to Earth instead of Urath, they lost their minds. Earth is off limits. There's a Viltrumite living on our planet.
Grab a seat. This may take a while.
They destroyed my world when my people rebelled against them.
Oh,
They blew up our planet rather than lose it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Don't be. From the sounds of it, I'm the one who should be apologizing. If I'd checked my orders properly, I would have seen that Earth was flagged for Viltrumite takeover.
After the last few days, I'm jealous.
The Coalition of Planets will want to hear about you.
Yeah.
A power struggle's brewing in the farthest reaches of space.
What kind of power struggle?
The Coalition is trying to unite enough worlds to stop the Viltrumite Empire.
What?
No one's even heard of a Viltrumite abandoning their post. It's insane. It just doesn't happen. This could be the advantage we've been looking for.
But the fact it's just a small part of something much larger makes it all seem more manageable.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
But it helps.
Once they find out your father took off, the Viltrumites are gonna come for you. Trust me, when they set their sights on a planet, they don't give up without a fight.
I'll be ready.
I hope so. What's the plan in the meantime?
Oh, shit!
Help Mars!
Yeah. The Mars situation.
Wait.
What the heck? It's just teasing a whole bunch of stuff for season 2. Oh, man. Shit. Same guy. Oh, that's great.
Finish high school, I guess.
Oh, all right, good.
Right.
Sounds good.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What is high school?
Now it's all out in you.
Oh my god! Wow! Okay.
All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
one massive fight, one massive conversation, all of it one-sided entirely.
Uh-huh.
It just entirely one-sided.
Except for maybe at the end there.
Except for maybe at the end there. Because that was a really cool touch, because I was starting to get really oh, sad that the Nolan character, if you will, was completely swallowed up by the Omni-Man character, and thus there was nothing really real about Nolan the whole way through. And that's what Mark was basically, railing against.
Yep. And the thing is that the explanation for why that's the case makes perfect sense. Because if you're someone that lives for thousands of years, 20 years that you spend, that's a phase.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh yeah, sure. But I'm a good undercover agent. Yeah, it's a weekend, right?
Yeah.
I know what I'm about. Eventually the vacation will end and I'll go back to work.
Yeah.
Right.
It's basically that, yeah. And then the really fucked up thing about this is that he almost went full Reiner for a little bit and had his moment of where he's like, I'm not a Viltrumite. I am a human father. And I am attached to this boy. I really didn't know what it was like to bring a life into this world and raise it with another person that I love and cherish. Okay.
And he's invested in that happening because he's supposed to be undercover, right? So and the choice of having it be something as as simple and almost like cliche as a baseball game, right?
Well, it wasn't just the baseball game. It was his wife's speech.
No, right, exactly. Yes. And she's saying, no, this is humanity, right? Look at that look on his face, right? He's really trying. Which I feel like is also it's not just the this is humanity thing and the getting at Nolan's humanity that he was able to acquire in his stint on Earth, but it's also the ultimate mic drop on the whole
monologue that he'd been going on.
Yeah, about perfection and strength and all of that stuff. It's like no. It's not about the end result. It's about the journey, right? And when it came right down to it, he didn't really have much of a response for that other than I will hold to my zealous ideals and everything. And then as a result of that, he ended up leaving.
Yep.
And I love that because it's having superhero stories where we get to see the good guy fight the good fight and beat the bad guy. That's great, right? But we're so inundated with it, I feel like, that we can miss out on the heart behind it, right? It wasn't about whether or not Invincible is stronger than Omni-Man, whether he can beat him or not, because of course he can't, right? He has time, experience, training on his side. Like, there is no way. There is no way. But there are different ways to fight. You don't have to be in a costume in order to be a superhero, right? Amber was able to be a hero, right, while volunteering at the community center, right? Mark was able to be a hero and defeat Omni-Man, not with any of his punches, but with his words, with his heart.
Right.
And Omni-Man is reeling from that one. So
he hit him in a way that Omni-Man has no defense for, and yet this happened, and Mark will have to reel from the punches that he took as well, and that will take time. The terrifying thing about this is that Mark might be broken beyond recognition internally because of what Omni-Man put him through.
Yes,
this episode.
He will never be the same again.
No.
Ever.
No, probably not.
But I think that's one of the reasons why the whatever the dude's name is showing up at the end is so important. Is not just for like the comedic cutting of the tension and like, oh hey, also by the way, there's this whole other, universe out there, right, beyond Earth of the people that want to fight against the Viltrumites and everything. But it's also showing that like, okay, Mark will recover even if he will still bear the scars of this, right? Like life will go on even if it will not be anything like the life he had,
for sure.
And that's a win.
That is
right?
a win. Yep.
So if you can be held through a subway as your own body is pasting the people inside before your very eyes as your father holds you there,
as they get flung into you at high speeds.
Yep. If you can somehow have a semblance of recovery after that, you are doing phenomenally.
Yep.
And that's where we are.
That's where we are. Okay, so this episode went all out in just showcasing what Omni-Man is about, and his fight was a representation of his message that it is pointless to resist. He's literally giving the muda 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 to our boy here. He's telling him that, yes, we culled half the population and made ourselves the strongest. And, oh, by the way, I didn't even really do that. That was a thing before I was even born. I've just lived in that culture, in that society. And we've been conquering the galaxy, ever since.
And I got the privilege to be one of the people, one of the elite selected.
The elite that was selected and went to Earth. And our theories in some ways came about relatively right. We were very, I would say, on point with a lot of our guesses with regards to this. I love how much continuity callbacks were in this episode.
Yep, that was awesome.
Basically the remember that time when he went to the place where time got a little bit, accelerated, and yet he came back and all he had was a beard.
Right.
That's because he lived all that and it didn't affect him because he's immortal practically.
Yep.
So there we go. All the characters that basically were shown in the montages after the fight. Basically catching up with everybody where they're at. I do think that we are set to have a season 2 that will focus on basically delineating away from villains and heroes and basically slowly building the message that, hey, there's a problem out there and it's coming and we are going to bring Earth into the coalition of planets and all that stuff. And that's really exciting from the scale side of things. But I like that the emotional core of the story being a family fallen apart because of the actions of the father that will then lead to them, trying to pick up the pieces,
right?
Building a new family, making new friends, building something out of this mess. And that's where the episode decided to end. Right. I really respect and appreciate that. But I think if anything, this episode is just a testament to just stellar voice casting and acting.
Holy shit, yes.
And then really terrifyingly graphic, 2D animation for a lot of the violent action moments, because this was on a whole other level. And it's something where I feel like this is where the end of episode 1 really not just fits, but like is within the whole. It's greater than the sum of its parts, right? Sure.
Because I know there are a lot of stories out there that will use something graphic as a way to basically hook an audience, right?
Grab attention,
right? Because it's effective at doing that, right? But this wasn't just grabbing attention; it was also basically preparing of, this is going to be
setting
expectations, and this is going to be worse than this eventually. But it wasn't worse than that all the way through. In fact, leading up to it, there was the part where like Mark almost died, but even then wasn't nearly as graphic, right? And so, there's almost this sense of like, wait, what was the point of that? Did it need to be that graphic? Well, yes, it did, because Omni-Man is going to do all of these things, right?
Yeah.
Like, in order to show him just how much these people are bugs, right? yeah, he's going to do some horrific things. And while it would have been wonderful if somehow Mark convinced him not to hold him through the train, or Mark managed to get away or save some of the people or whatever, that's not the kind of world that they live in. And yeah.
And so we experience this.
Yep.
Yeah, and giving the episode the time to breathe in some ways, even in the horrific violence and stuff, was actually kind of nice, because while on some level the show desensitized us a little bit to the horrific violence that a lot of these characters can bring about accidentally even. The fact that this then came from someone who we were, even up until last episode, trying to think of ways in which we were kind of like Debbie, like trying to think of like explanations for this. And they gave us basically the worst, darkest timeline version of events possible that we could have, where he's literally a space, pure blood supremacy, Nazi style, like conqueror.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And he's just the herald of what's to come.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, fuck.
Yeah.
And then we also get him crying as he leaves because his son reached something within him that made him abandon his post and his mission, which means he is effectively a traitor to the Viltrumite Empire.
I am so excited to see more stuff with Omni-Man in future seasons, because like one of the things that I was thinking about as it got further and further in the show, and then it's like, okay, at some point it'll probably come into conflict with Mark and Omni-Man. Is how do you make it so that the conflict continues into future seasons and still maintains that heart and that core that makes it so engaging here? Because the family aspect, the father-son dynamic, like it's not the superpowers, it's that, right?
Right.
The superpowers are a great mechanism for that, and juxtaposition and all of that, right? So how do you maintain that? Well, here you go, right? Omni-Man is the worst possible, it's the worst possible explanation. And yet, is there a glimmer of hope that Omni-Man will end up maybe deciding to actually fight against the Viltrumites and help defend Earth? That might theoretically happen.
There's a greater than 0% chance.
Yeah.
It's not high.
It's not high.
It's
but
probably even close to 1%.
Right. But I want to see how the Viltrumites respond to the fact that you abandoned your post. What the fuck? You went AWOL. You revealed yourself. That is one of the worst things you could have done. Now they're absolutely united, right? How does he deal with that?
Yeah. And you gave them essentially just time to prepare for our arrival.
Right.
And then they'll probably have to actually dedicate resources to try and overturn Earth.
Yep.
And that's the thing I'm actually the most excited about, is the reason why I said that they get united is not from the standpoint that the whole world is going to know the terror of, that the Viltrumites are coming.
Although theoretically they might use that if they
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will, but
no. That would just cause chaos and panic. What I'm talking about is basically that people like Cecil and those that would be in charge of the superheroes across the world in general would start basically prepping to be like, okay, none of this other stuff matters even remotely now. We have effectively an army or a battalion that could show up of Nolans.
Right, even if it's just 5 of them.
Even if it's just 5 of them.
Yeah.
We would need to be prepared to go to war against them. And the terrifying thing about that is that there's just no way that they're ready.
Nope.
But a lot of things about people's greed and fear can get pushed aside when something of that scale is brought to the head. It's basically the equivalent of telling the leaders of the world, we have 10 years, an asteroid is coming. Everyone start making your arcs, basically.
Right.
We're going to go to sea, and we're going to be at sea for, theoretically the rest of humanity. That's the kind of thing that could end up happening.
Right.
I think there's a lot of wonderful conflict that can come from that, because there's a lot of people that could be like, well, why don't we just let them take over? Like, obviously, like, they don't have any desire to destroy us, because that's what Omni-Man could have done.
Mm-hmm.
He could have just done that at any point, so they don't care about that.
Right.
There's going to be villains that are going to try to exploit this. There's going to be shifting of allegiances, in my opinion, as villains and those that were, maybe problematic before are going to be like, oh, no, I now can see where my priorities are.
Exactly.
Let me work with you and figure things out the best way possible.
Right.
In the same
Rex
way that
cleaning the blood. Yeah.
Yes, Rex cleaning the blood. It's the kind of thing where Rexplode is probably going to be one of the frontline people who's actually going to put aside a lot of his egotisticalness, a little bit, in order to be like, no, I see what's going on here. I'm going to prioritize my life and get shit, going here.
I feel like the scene of the Guardians, like, watching all of this happen and everything was kind of like, and how they were responding, and oh shit, it's kind of like a little microcosm of what it's going to be for Earth as a whole as this information gets out and things like that. Things like the clones, working with, Cecil and everybody and being like, okay, we understand that you guys are going to have us do work. You're still going to keep us in prisons and stuff because of the shit we've done. Okay,
the clones, I think, would be one of the best examples of something to help them out, because Rudy will actually be someone that will probably be able to connect with them and be like, hey, no, we'll make this stuff happen.
Right.
And also, just the fact that Chicago saw the fight, it's not going to take long for the internet to do its thing and be like, okay, well, he left, that's good, but he could be back. And they don't have to see it as the context of the Viltrumites are back, because that's probably top secret info anyway.
But it's just Omni-Man coming back.
Omni-Man could be back.
Yeah, right. Like realistically,
that's enough.
They survived because Omni-Man chose to leave, right?
And they don't even need to know that. They could just be like, oh, he's going to come back at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And we are not ready to deal with him right now, so we better get ready.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. It's something where this finale was everything I could have hoped for.
Everything, yeah.
Everything I could have hoped for. And on top of that, it sets up like all my hype and expectation and and anticipation for future seasons of this show.
Right. And we know there's going to be a second season.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So like,
theoretically, it could do a whole lot of seasons.
It could. Like, I honestly think in some level, though, this is like a 3 to 5 season kind of show.
I could see that, yeah.
Given how much we did in 8 episodes, basically, like, I really think the biggest thing that could slow it down is how much time they want to have between any kind of Viltrum response and just what happens on Earth in the meantime.
Right. And it's just something where I feel like there are a lot of times where shows will get me on board for like a second season, but it's a whole other thing when I'm like, okay, yes, like
I'm on
big
board
picture,
for 5 seasons.
yeah, for the long haul.
Yeah.
Let's go, let's do this. Like,
yeah, to compare this to like The Boys, for instance, I don't feel like The Boys really well set up, I would say, the idea of having 5 seasons.
Right.
I was really excited for let's have another season of The Boys.
See what happens. Yeah,
that sounds great. But I wasn't like, I need to have, this story completed, because one thing that this show does now by having this finale is basically this is how the story ends. Earth overcomes the Viltrumites with working together with everybody.
Yep. It feels like
that's how the story ends.
Right.
Mark has, closure with his father.
Yeah. There's a comparison I'm going to make that I'm not as a thing of like I'm seeing this show as that other thing, but just for this feels like I'm rediscovering Mass Effect or something. Like completely different style of story, but like with the, super powerful alien race that's going to come and attack things.
I see it.
And
an ancient overwhelming threat that they can't stop that's coming eventually. Earth needs to get into the fold with the planets and like it's very Mass Effect.
Right, it's very Mass Effect. Yeah. And that's I'm not just saying that as a thing of Mass Effect from like the story beats and things.
No, I got you.
But that was a game series that meant a lot to me.
Totally.
Specifically. So this is a very wonderful feeling, even after all of the, oh my God, what did we just watch?
You even have the one of us that betrayed us to then, the whole thing there. Yeah.
Yep.
And it works. It works. No, I think that's a cool one. Yeah. I definitely really love the fact that superhero stories, because this is not anything new in terms of the what if Superman was not good.
Right.
That's nothing like new or what have you. But I loved that this is combined with the overall hopeful direction and also whimsical attitude of what I would call older school superhero stuff to have been. Because to contrast it with something like The Boys is way more bleak and way more Watchmen. Whereas this is way more like, no, that stuff's there because they're so powerful. But the actual tone of, like, the story, the heart of it, is way lighter and warmer, despite literally having all these violent things in it. So there's just a good foundation, I would say, to keep me from having too hard of whiplash when the violent stuff happens.
Yes, it's something where things can be too grim. To the point where you can kind of check out, right?
Yeah, and you don't care as much.
Yeah, you don't care as much. And I feel like in that sense, for a couple different reasons, the whimsy is necessary because, one, that's how the characters will deal with it, like in this fucked up situation, right? Mark needs to talk about literally anything else. And yes, William, it's going to be hard to come up with another topic, but even just you talking about how, like, that's something to cut the tension, right? Because it's like, okay, you're doing your best, you're not necessarily doing a perfect job of it, but you're trying, buddy, right? That's the kind of shit that we also need, and it helps us stay invested so that way when the show decides to be like, hey, let's show a dad forcing his son to be pasting a bunch of people through a train, we can know that that's not going to be the whole show, right? That is something that's going to be very uncomfortable, and we'll watch it and it'll be like, oh shit, and then it'll be done. It'll go to something else.
Yeah.
So, whew.
Yeah. I didn't really like the kind of this is maybe a weird thing here, but I didn't really like Amber showing up. It felt kind of
that felt like character recycling, where it's we spent time with her, so we don't want to just write her out of the story, but
we also
that feels very fucking insensitive to be like, I broke up with this person and I hurt them, and now I'm going to come in to comfort them / be like, yeah, we're back together after they just had the most like unimaginably awful thing happen to them.
Right. It felt a little bit like what would have been maybe a bit better. And this is just a thing of where I'm like, I understand that pacing is a thing and they want to move things along quickly and also have closure to the new direction of what the season will be, because they didn't necessarily know they were going to get 2 seasons from this, but I'm sure they were planning on 2 seasons with the story, of course, is have her make a call and be like, hey, do you need someone right now?
Yeah, the reestablishing of contact, not trying to reestablish the relationship. Yeah, and because to ping off of that, imagine a season 2. Now that we could still get this, but I think this is less likely based on the fact that they established the relationship,
right?
Where Amber is then needing to be like, I want to be around you, there for you, and all of that stuff, but as a result of, because the thing is, her also breaking up with him, that's not made invalid. He was still being a dick to her, right?
Of course.
So all of that shit is still there, right? You might not make for a good couple, right? Like, maybe it was for the best, and having her need to, and him too, because it takes 2 to tango, figure out that new dynamic over a long period of time in a season 2. They could still do that, but
it felt
something
like they were rushing to have a group of people sit down at Burger Mart, and I was like, I get why William's there.
Yep.
Adam Eve being there also feels like I'm more so glad that she actually went back to the Guardians.
Oh,
Like that was a really kind of cool moment there. But having them all kind of be there to have this like, oh, that I felt like was the moment of where they're like, we're trying to have whimsy here so that we can lighten the mood a little bit. And I'm like, okay,
so
cool.
to use the Guardians comparison, her going back and immediately embracing Rexplode, that felt very good and healthy, right? Because that doesn't necessarily mean anything about the relationship, but it's that the conflicts that we have had with each other, we acknowledge that they so do not matter in the grand scheme of things compared to what we have to deal with. So it's bygones be bygones, it's put aside,
It'd be like, not exactly the same thing, but it'd be kind of like Adam Eve coming back and being like,
and
hey,
kissing Rex.
I give you a kiss.
Right.
Because you had to deal with all this shit. And it's like,
that would be pretty weird.
Yeah.
So in this situation, having them actually get back together and having, and not just having them get back together, but to have Amber assume that they would get back together and that, like that she opened up with a kiss too. Like, that was like, I'm sorry, girl, what?
Yeah, that was a little,
like,
a little weird. Now, he did embrace her, and I think she could definitely get the vibe off of the hug and stuff like that this was mostly okay.
Right.
But it is one of those things where I feel like one of the things that is rough about these kinds of stories is that people are different, and thus the emotional sensitivities that I would have if I inserted myself into Mark's situation are different than if he was in this situation, because he's a fictional character, what have you. But I feel like her kind of knowing what's going on is a fun like kind of shtick of her being like, no, I'm the self-aware character that realizes that I'm in a superhero thing where, oh, I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, haha, that's funny. I like that. I actually really appreciate that in some ways, and also I like that it's being kept to a side character a little bit. But there was some weird kind of vibes I got just from this in general.
Right. It felt to me like one of those things where it's these are the 2 characters that were in a relationship characters. So that's not really going to change, even if the actions of the characters and the things that happen in the world make sense for that to change. I'm fine with them getting back together in general.
Yeah.
I just think it would make a hell of a lot more sense, say, towards the end of season 2.
Or just to have it happen over the course of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
This felt like we're not really wanting to write that, so we're just going to race through and kind of undo everything that just happened in the last 2 episodes so that this can be their new status quo, because it's a more fun dynamic, and also we don't really know what to do with Amber as a character outside of the relationship, which also could say how poorly she was maybe written as a character as well.
Right, I love the stuff of her helping out at the community center.
Yeah,
and being that
and then with Adam Eve, and then the connection
that was great.
Because she gave her the idea to then be like, oh,
exactly,
you can help people without being necessarily a part of some special team or what have you.
It's the extraordinary within the ordinary.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important in a story like this that's a superhero show and has a villain like Omni-Man, for crying out loud, right? Like, that is super important.
Yeah.
And yet it's like it felt like I was seeing the man behind the curtain of like these 2 have to be in a relationship.
I'm really curious about the adaptation side of things as well. Like I'm really curious about like maybe there's just a lot that's being cut and they wanted to have a definitive like end for a season, and that's why they showed a lot of montages, which obviously they wouldn't do that much like that in a comic or a graphic novel or something like that. Like it would be a little bit more detailed, but that's okay because they're trying to show basically where everybody is and what's going on right now.
And it makes for a great cut back to Mark of being like, finish high school, I guess,
Yeah. I thought
awesome.
I thought the directing, if you will, for this episode was flawless. The way things were like established in terms of the visual presentation was wonderful.
And even
I could not believe that the memes that we were spoiled on were such a tiny percentage of the grand just bout that we got to experience.
And I gotta say, this is another example of situations where I love the reasons and the motivation behind why in a fight it will be stopped for a bit for one of the characters to talk.
Yeah.
Because even though Omni-Man is putting on this front of like, I'm right, get in line, soldier, you know, he's also talking to his son.
Yeah.
And he does not want to be doing this. He just feels that he has to. So every time he feels like he makes a verbal or physical punch that he thinks should have landed, he will then stop to basically check in and be like,
look what you made me do.
God, that was such a chilling line as far as like, you know, abuser language, all of that stuff. Like, holy shit,
like,
you know,
God.
Oh. And the thing is that to an extent, Omni-Man's kind of right, because the Viltrumites are going to conquer this place. It makes sense to just play dead and let it happen, right? Because otherwise they will make an example of you, right?
Oh, not just you.
Not just you, but, you know, like the whole planet and everything, because they're thinking on a much bigger scale. So, you know, theoretically, this could be that side of Omni-Man that's trying to, for the little bit of humanity that he acquired while he was here,
no, that's exactly
protect these
why he
people.
thinks he's the hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm saving you all.
Yep.
Like, by me being here, I'm going to give your pathetic lives meaning.
Right.
And it's like, God. Oh, fuck.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Oh, shit. I mean, I'm so glad though that they took all these little things, even down to freaking Seth Rogen coming back to be like, yo,
I'm so sorry, dude.
I'm so sorry.
I need to tell you there's a Viltrumite here.
It's like, yeah, how do you think I flew up here? It's like, oh, right. Yeah,
sure.
You humans can't all do that.
Right. Wait, you're telling me the person I fought this entire time before you was a Viltrumite?
And he was going easy on me.
And he was going easy. Holy shit. Like, wife, I love you, and I'm really glad that I'm still alive, you know? Like,
wife, he doesn't have a wife. He has weekly Tuesdays where he goes in and
the birthing pods.
Donates his, you know, his seed for the cause of revitalizing his species. I will say, the fact that we got so much time focusing on Omni-Man kind of having those moments throughout the season of where he's realizing that this was like the worst thing to ever happen to him. Like this development of things was literally like a wake up from a dream that he thought he could escape into.
Right.
And now he's being forced to, you know, go and, you know, remember who he is. And we slowly see the parts of him leaking out over the course of, you know, the season, to then have this moment where he lets it all out because he's, you know, tired of, you know, hiding it.
What was it? I would rather burn this world to the ground than live for another minute as one of you.
Yeah.
Or as one of them.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
All right. We now see you for who you are, and we are also a bit intrigued as to who you are now.
Right.
Because you left under circumstances that, story-wise, they are really trying to emphasize the fact that you effectively beat a Viltrumite by making them go against the
code,
loyalty to their mission or what.
Even if it's just for, you know, a minute, right?
A temporary
thing, a temporary bit,
you.
right? Because, you know, from Omni-Man's perspective,
he might be just going to process out in space for a year or two.
Right, exactly. You know? And then I'll go back and
right.
You know.
He might be going to go hide as he's realizing maybe, oh shit, they're gonna come and kill me now.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to think about how I feel about that. You know?
Right. They're going to come and kill Mark.
Yeah, do I want to protect Mark from them, or do I, you know,
also
want to go and beg forgiveness?
Sure.
Do I want to go and, you know, lie and say, oh, Earth, yeah, I had to destroy it or something?
Do I want to go grab somebody new and spend another 17 years and raise this next one as a Viltrumite from the get-go? That whole line was so chilling.
Yeah.
Of like,
It's
fine. I'm immortal. It doesn't really matter.
Well, but yeah, it's a play on the joke line of parents who have to deal with shitty kids who are like, I could make 3 more of you.
And maybe that isn't such a funny joke.
Maybe that isn't such a funny joke at all. No. Yeah. All right, and that's Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 will come eventually, and yeah, we'll be excited to check that out when it's here.
I am so glad we were like able to know so little about this show other than the memes.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because episode 1 really sets the perfect expectation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, it really does.
Yeah. The show is really bookended by near like flawless beginning and ending episodes.
I love that Cecil and Debbie were both trying to kind of rationalize and like excuse and see if there was some explanation for it, because that's also what the audience is going to be trying to do, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching these reactions to Invincible and the discussions. If you want to see the first episode's reaction of the new Western animation show that we're going to be doing after this, we've decided to start Castlevania.
Yeah.
Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Very
we'll be
excited
going
for that
through
one.
that. And episode 1 will be next week. So if you want to see the first episode's reaction discussion to that right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about animated shows, stories in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.